Okay, let's unpack this. Today we're delving into the unique and incredibly prolific world of Freida McFadden, a name that's, well, has become almost synonymous with those twisty, page-turning thrillers, right? But what's truly remarkable, I think, is her dual life. She's not just a best-selling author, she's also a practicing physician. So our mission for you, the listener, is to really extract all the key insights, into her distinct writing style, her genuinely surprising background, and what makes her latest novel, The Crash, such a compelling read for some people, while maybe less so for others. We're basing this on the sources we've pulled together. The aim is for you to walk away from this deep dive feeling, well, incredibly well-informed on this whole literary phenomenon.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is precisely how Freida McFadden manages to navigate and bridge these two very distinct worlds, medicine and storytelling, and how that really shapes her unique approach to the psychological thriller genre. We'll be looking at how her deep understanding of one field directly informs the other, how it creates this specific kind of narrative tension that clearly resonates with a global audience.
Her journey really is quite remarkable. Let's start by getting a handle on the person behind these gripping stories. Freida McFadden, born May 1st, 1980. She's an American physician based in Boston. Now, what's even more surprising is that she's actually trained in brain injury medicine. And despite her incredibly prolific writing career, she still practices part-time, like 1 to 2 days a week.
Right.
She's also a Harvard graduate. I mean, imagine balancing that intense medical profession with writing international bestsellers.
Well, that medical background, particularly in brain injury, it's incredibly significant, isn't it? It's not just about getting the details right, the accuracy. It's about the deep psychological toll of trauma, the precise medical protocols, even that visceral experience of a hospital or an injury that just seeps into her writing. These are details that give her scenes a gripping authenticity, a sense of realism that frankly, many non-medical authors just can't quite achieve. It makes the stakes feel really tangible for you, the reader.
That's a powerful observation.
Yeah.
And what's even more surprising, maybe, is how her authorial journey actually began. It wasn't with a thriller at all, was it? It was something completely different.
Exactly. Her path started back in 2013, and not with these intense thrillers she's known for now, but with a medical humor book. It was called The Devil Wears Scrubs.
Right.
And she self-published that through Amazon KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing, which makes it pretty accessible for independent authors. It shows, quite a humble beginning for such a massive success story now.
And what a success it's become. I mean, her wide range of books spanning from that early humor to these intense psychological thrillers. They haven't just become bestsellers, they're international phenomena. She's appeared in the New York Times, USA Today, Wall Street Journal, Publishers Weekly lists, all the big ones. She's even garnered significant industry recognition, winning awards like the International Thriller Writers Award for Best Paperback Original and a Goodreads Choice Award, which, that really speaks volumes about her connection with actual readers.
Her global reach is truly undeniable. You mentioned bestseller lists, but her works, they've been translated into over 40 languages. That highlights just how universally appealing her storytelling style is,
Definitely. And her breakout thriller, the one that really launched her into the mainstream consciousness, that was The Housemaid, right?
Right.
From 2022.
That's the one.
That wasn't just a hit. It spun off into a whole best-selling series. The Housemaid's Secret, The Housemaid is Watching. And for those of you who love screen adaptations, The Housemaid is actually being adapted into a major film starring Sydney Sweeney and Amanda Seyfried, directed by Paul Feig. I mean, that's a massive leap from self-published humor.
Huge leap. And looking at the broader implications here, her journey, from self-published medical humor all the way to mainstream thriller success and now a Hollywood adaptation. It's quite a narrative in itself, really. It highlights this modern, maybe unconventional, but clearly effective path to literary prominence. It's a testament to understanding what readers are actually looking for.
It certainly is. So having understood the remarkable journey that shaped her, it's fascinating to see how all these threads kind of converge in her latest work. The Crash, which is set to be released on January 28, 2025. Let's set the scene for this highly anticipated novel. The premise, it immediately hooks you. Tegan, she's 8 months pregnant, crashes her car in a blizzard while trying to get to her brother's place.
Right, classic setup.
Exactly. She's rescued by two seemingly kind strangers, Hank and Polly, who take her back to their remote cabin. But as her injuries heal and, paranoia starts to mount, Tegan slowly realizes this rescue. It's far more sinister than salvation.
Ooh, okay.
So with that background in mind, Let's examine how McFadden's unique style plays out in The Crash. She definitely maintains her signature high stakes and that relentless pacing.
Yeah.
Think incredibly short chapters, constant cliffhangers that just compel you to keep turning the pages.
Yeah, that's her trademark.
And that setting,
Yeah.
the isolated, snowy cabin, it just amplifies the suspense, doesn't it? Makes it feel like a perfect book for like a one-sitting binge read.
Oh, absolutely. And the psychological tension in The Crash, it seems quite effective. It's really intensified by that dual perspective. By alternating between Tegan and Polly's viewpoints, McFadden deepens that creeping dread, and it allows you, the reader, to sort of unravel their motivations, especially with the strong maternal and fertility-related themes woven throughout. And this is where her medical expertise truly shines, I think. Her background in brain injury medicine. It brings this gripping realism not just to Tegan's physical trauma, but also to the psychological complexities. You know, her pregnancy under duress, it provides these authentic medical details that really ground the narrative.
Okay, so lots of strengths there.
Yeah.
But, while there are certainly strong points, no book is without its critical perspectives. What have some readers or critics pointed out as potential weaknesses in The Crash? We need a balanced view here.
You're right. Absolutely. Balance is key. While Tegan's emotional turmoil is clearly conveyed, some critics have noted that other characters might feel a bit, stereotypical perhaps, or maybe insufficiently developed, serving more as plot devices than fully fleshed out individuals, And also, regarding the plot itself, some of the twists, though they're clearly intended for shock value, they can sometimes feel a bit foreseeable, or at times maybe disconnected from the main narrative. And the resolution, some feel, might come across as a bit rushed or overly tidy, which I suppose raises that important question: how do these elements contribute to her broader popcorn thriller reputation?
And that reputation, that's precisely what we see reflected in the reviews from her very dedicated readership. McFadden's books, including The Crash, they often get described as popcorn thrillers. Easy to read, quick pace, but maybe light on nuance and, as some say, lacking originality.
Right.
Some criticisms get even more direct, calling the prose maybe poorly written or the wording basic.
Yeah, but despite those criticisms, it's really crucial to understand why fans still embrace books like The Housemaid, and by extension, probably The Crash. Why they see them as enjoyable, guilty pleasures for late-night reading, while some might call it basic prose for a reader who's just looking to disconnect and be swept away. That direct, unadorned language, it can actually be a superpower.
How so?
Well, it strips away maybe literary ornamentation, right? It lets the reader dive headfirst into the plot's current. It creates this almost hypnotic page-turning effect. It's a different kind of mastery, maybe, tailored for maximum escapism and instant gratification.
That makes sense. So putting it all together, what's the overall verdict for The Crash? It sounds like it definitely delivers a tense, atmospheric, psychological thriller. Strong emotional stakes, its fast pace, and that authentic medical detail seem to make it truly compelling, especially if you love those isolated survival stories.
Absolutely. I think if you're someone who enjoys binge-worthy thrillers, high-stress settings, that touch of medical realism and maternal suspense, then The Crash is probably highly recommended for you.
Okay.
However, if you typically prefer, say, intricate prose, deeply nuanced characters, or maybe tightly woven plot lines with complex philosophical underpinnings, then you might consider skipping this one. Ultimately, it's about knowing what kind of reading experience you're looking for, isn't it?
Right. It's about matching the book to the reader. And there you have it. Our deep dive into Freida McFadden, the physician turned best-selling thriller author, and her novel, The Crash. We've unpacked that unique blend of medical expertise and thrilling storytelling she brings to the table, and specifically what The Crash seems to offer its readers.
Yeah, and looking at the broader implications, her case really highlights how a writer's distinct background can carve out a powerful niche, providing exactly what a specific segment of readers are looking for. Even if it means, diverging from certain traditional literary conventions, it reminds us that there's a wide spectrum of what constitutes good in storytelling, each with its own valuable purpose.
Indeed. Ultimately, our exploration reveals that Freida McFadden's success seems to be this brilliant fusion, doesn't it? The rare, potent authenticity drawn from her medical career, meticulously blended with an exceptional understanding of pacing that just hooks readers immediately and compels them forward. It's a formula that delivers instant, high-octane gratification. So, given her prolific output and that dedicated fan base, what do you think is the true secret to Freida McFadden's enduring appeal? Is it the medical authenticity, the relentless pacing, or maybe that unique combination of both that creates this Truly unparalleled reading experience, something for you to mull over. We definitely encourage you to explore this further.